So there's been complaint about this. Players have made a lot of complaints about lots of games. How them themselves are trying to adjust to 60 games per season. Some players play up to 60 games per season. As if you play the whole what's it called? Play your league games, play friendlies, Champions Leagues, and all of those. Combine all of this together, it gets to 60 games for some players. And look at what's going on now. Injuries everywhere. Arsenal suffering from injuries right now. Real Madrid are pulling their players back. Barca, all of this, pulling the whole case with Yamal and all this. All this is because they know that when they allow these players play, the national team coaches are not. I don't know if I use the word wise enough or considerate enough to say, okay, this guy, this is just a friendly match. Oh yeah, you just play even if it's 15-20 minutes, play and then go back. But they want them to play full 90. Imagine Saka playing the full 90 minutes. Imagine key players for national teams playing full 90 minutes and injuries pop up. Now, for the what was now we have for Europe, for let's look at Europe now. We have the European, let's say it's a year of European qualifiers or the World Cup qualifiers, and then they have the Nations League, which of course many players pull out. Even many players even don't want to play those kind of, because at the end of the day nobody wants that trophy. It's not a, in quote, a major trophy like that, in quote. And then there's also friendlies. Look at all of these 4 things. If you are, I'm talking about a very busy year. And then you play World Cup qualifier, and then there's a friendly, because I know most of these European teams, they play a lot of friendlies. There's a friendly by the side, and then you have a player who has played full 90 minutes in the World Cup qualifier, which is important, of course. And then there's a friendly match. You carry that same player and you're playing the full 90 minutes too. Do you think clubs should start taking, or clubs should have this conversation with, UEFA or FIFA, whoever is in charge, to agree or disagree to pull their players out of, irrelevant, features for their country?
The thing is, you don't really have to stop players from representing their countries. You understand? But then again, you also have to consider the amount of money going into these competitions when it comes to the Champions League, especially when it comes to club competitions, because clubs normally want their players to go to the international break and then come back fit and not injured. Because when it comes to these competitions, these are the competitions that majorly gives these clubs their money. When you talk about the Champions League, it's a money spending competition. When you talk about their leagues, the various, the middle 5 leagues in Europe. So the clubs would want their players to be fit when they come back, and then not injured when coming back. And then if you consider that the physical aspect of the game, that these players, after featuring for the national teams, tends to come back burned out. There is a lot of fatigue with this player, and then it affects the game on their club side. So you would notice, you will agree with their concerns when it comes to this type of things. But will you stop these players from representing the national teams? No.
No, you can't stop, but there has to be a form of agreement between, maybe now it's a 3-man thing now, FIFA, the club, and then the countryside. They have to come together and agree to disagree. You want your players, yes, but we hold these players for long. That's the club side. We hold these players for long.
And pay the bulk of the salaries.
Pay the bulk of the salaries. You only pay per game. You don't pay salaries. You pay per game. You pay per tournament. We pay these players. In short, it is with our money that they make whatever life they make out. They make out for themselves. So we need them fit more than you do. You need them for a 6-game tournament. You need them for a whatever friendlies or this thing. We have to disagree and say, okay, let them play. We agree World Cup qualifiers. It's important. Everybody wants to qualify for the World Cup or Euros, as it may be in Europe.
But not the dead-end rubber games when you've already qualified and then you still keep playing these players, and then probably like what happened to Yama against for Spain.
Yeah.
He played he played 70 minutes in 2 of the games, and then got injured because of that. And he played that game with he was injured before the game.
The same time we were doing Pedri and Gavi's boys.
Exactly. And then just like recently that Mbappe and the Camavinga put that of France national team after playing the first game, and then the second game they had to.
These are because of the profile of these players sometimes and the club they play for. You don't want to argue with them.
And sometimes there is underhand tactics involved.
Yes, see, Mbappe is not injured. They are going to play their next game.
Just like Kamavinga was not. Rather Valverde. He wasn't called up. The same thing with Qatar. They said he needed about
they know
10 to 11 days.
They will play. It's the 10 to 11 days never finish.
Same thing with Yamal. So sometimes you understand the politics that goes on between these countries and club side when it comes to their players, and you won't really blame them.
Now imagine Casemiro, who we are all telling a very old man cannot run. His legs are Casemiro plays week in week at Manchester United, and he has gone to play all games for Brazil.
So that's what we're talking about.
And we see how important he is for Manchester United right now. If he gets injured now, it looks like back to square one in that midfield that Manchester United has been suffering this season. So
but you understand that the kind of money FIFA and sponsors put in this competition.
Well, in this case,
you probably want the best players featuring.
No, in this year, we're not saying that friendly match. I don't think FIFA has enough. FIFA has any financial gain in friendly matches. I'm talking about that's why I say I agree for qualifiers for a tournament. I don't have any problem with that. Then when it gets to the point of dead rubber games, like you don't need these games.
But the thing is, when it comes to national teams, coaches tend to use these friendlies to fine tune their already existing squad. They don't want to start experimenting with other players, thereby disorganizing the already gotten tactics.
You can put these players on the bench, right, and then bring them in, or start them and take them out later. We're talking not stretching the player that's very important to his club and even important to you as a country, stretching him 70-80 minutes for a friendly game. That's what I'm saying. We're not saying, see, everything is about, because if you check for some club side they manage their players. Oh, they have a Champions League game. Okay, you play. If it's not a very important league game, you play 60 minutes or 70 minutes, you're out, or you don't start at all. You come in second half just to for match fitness and all of those things, and then you don't. We see this has happened. Sometimes in Champions League, it's a small team we are playing against. You're just feeling the second team. Club side manage the players. The country should do that too. I believe the country should do that. It's not just for the club side. It's for your own good too. Imagine as important as Aina is for Nottingham Forest. Let's say you rush him back. They rush him back, and then he gets injured. He doesn't play for the Nations Cup. He does still play for you in the league. So what good that? What have you done? What are you doing? Nobody. You're not doing anybody a favor at that time. So I feel like this club side have to. The country side have to find a way to. That's why I said they have to be between these three bodies: the club, the country, and FIFA. They have to come together and start looking at this thing. Say, okay, let us find a way. Now we can't reduce the game because FIFA want money. So FIFA will not reduce games to anybody. In short, they are looking for more and more competitions to that will pop up for these things. They're looking for more competitions that will pop up. In short, if I imagine after Chelsea won the Club World Cup, after Chelsea won the Conference League, they were saying for the Super Cup they're going to play Chelsea versus the Europa League winner, and then they're going to that time who will play the Champions League. So these guys are thinking of more and more games for these players. So Chelsea won the Club World Cup. If Chelsea had come to play, if that thing had worked out, so Chelsea would have played the Conference League and Europa League. They've played a very tough match, like high intensity match, and then to the league again. This is Chelsea are still suffering from that effect of that Club World Cup. Even though the only thing saving Chelsea is that they have good squad, they have players. Chelsea are still suffering from the effect of that Club World Cup. Thank God that one is even 4 years. If that one was happening every year, or even 2 years, thank God that one is even for every 4 years. So, like I said, these guys have to put their heads together and find a way. These guys are human beings. Yes, they are being paid enough. They don't have any other job aside playing football. I have made an argument for even FIFA or whatever concerning this whole playtime. I be like, you don't have any job apart from this. Yes, but sometimes it's not just about the physical. This thing. It's about the mental and emotional. That these players have to go through every day. It's not easy preparing for games. It's not easy. Mentally preparing for games is more hard. That's why you see coach before the coach is going white hair. Before the coach is going grey hair. See Arteta. See Eric Chel for Nigeria. Sometimes I feel like these guys even forget to shave or forget to take care of themselves because of the how demanding some jobs are very demanding. See Pep Guardiola, at some point he saw that he saw he was. It's very demanding. Not all of the players who are playing this inside the pitch. It's very demanding. These things are demanding. So FIFA should find a way. All of these three entities should find a way to discuss these things, bring an argument, so that it doesn't look like very soon club will start telling the players, okay, next week, this week is our national break. We are fall down inside pitch, fall down, just fall down. It's 70 minutes, fall down. Don't worry. Without we are winning the match, or just fall down, we'll take you out. That's the end. That's the end. So if it starts happening, then it's going to ruin everything. It's going to ruin everything, and then you cannot for sure ascertain whether a player is injured. The club will tell you they've sent him somewhere for treatment. You will see the player. You can't. So, but before we go so long on this topic, FIFA and whoever should find a way to reduce this game time, especially when it's irrelevant matches. Friendlies, like I said, they don't put money into fast pocket. I'm not sure. These friends don't put money into fast pocket.
But the clubs do get money
from friendly from
yes.
Those money. This thing does not equate to you missing your keeper. Imagine your man not play for 20 games this season.
The thing is this.
How much?
The thing is this. See, these competitions, there are a lot of sponsors. The bulk of the issue is that the players, the argument for the national team is these players play less when it comes to national team football. National team competitions, maybe 5, 6, 7 games. Do you understand? The major tournament. But when it comes to club competitions, for example, in the EPA, you play about 8 matches in the league. Then you play the FA Cup, you play the EFL Cup, and then when you go to the Champions League, depending on how far you go, you will notice that at the end of the day, these players play almost over 60-65 matches for their club size alone. So, and the clubs doesn't want these players, like I said, going to the national team and then coming back into, because they pay the bulk of their salaries, and then the fans also want to come back and see their star players playing, because the sponsors and everything are not paying you to get injured. They're paying you to see those star players play. So all those money they're investing is to see these star players play. But the national team coaches, for national team, the argument is you cannot be experimenting with every international friendly we get. Let's say, how many international friendlies do they play in a year? In fact, it's as if there is always a major tournament every 2 years, because the Euro is 4 years, the World Cup is also for 4 years. But then again, in between, like this year, they will play rather next year, the World Cup is 2026, and then there is the Euro 2028. You just see that it's just more or less 2 years gap between the major tournaments. And then the cup friendlies in a year might be just 1 or 2 windows for cup friendlies. So most coaches don't normally like experimenting. Rather, they want to have their full squad for these friendlies and then fine tune their tactics going into these major tournaments. You get the argument now. So I don't really blame these coaches. What I would rather suggest is, since these are supposedly big players for their clubs, what we would rather do is maybe feature them, like you said, to 70 minutes and then put them. I'm not forcing players to play injured, just like in the case of Yamal. Not forcing play. If this player is, if the player is injured, allow him to rest and get well before coming back, because like you said, it's going to affect both the country side and the other side. So it's going to affect everybody, and you wouldn't want to be missing your star player going into a major tournament.
Well, of course, you've heard it from us. These are the politics that, there's a lot of politics in football right now, and whether it's good or bad politics, at the end of the day, it's what makes us love football. All of this, major talking points. But let's hear your thoughts. Right now, we're missing our Aina as Nigerians. We're missing Aina. We missed him as far as these two qualifiers that we played. We missed him a lot. We know what he brings to the team. But let's hear your thoughts. What do you think about, the whole game time for players and irrelevant games for countryside and affecting club sides? Let's hear your thoughts in the conversation. Let's talk about it.